Hey, please introduce yourselves for everyone.
Hello, my name is Lauren Capel.
And I'm Tiara Sidnor Diggs.
So, ladies, tell me exactly. So, you're facilitators here for today's Mothers and Sons Summit.
Yes.
What did you guys talk about in your activity? Or
So today I facilitated a self-love, self-care workshop for the moms because we know as mothers we can get completely overwhelmed with the daily hustle and bustle of everyday life, and just facilitating a conversation and some self-awareness for the moms that, we maybe sometimes adopt some bad self-care habits, or we don't have any at all. So it was more just an opportunity to bring awareness to why self-care is important and help the moms to identify some strategies that might work for them.
so, I got to call you out on something real quick. What are some of the bad habits that are adopted?
Well,
To name a few. So, if you don't know this is a bad habit, maybe we're calling some folks out.
sometimes not knowing who your support system is. You might not have an opportunity to share what's being bottled up. A lot of times we tend to bottle things up inside and, explode.
That closed communication. Not saying no.
Saying
Stretching
yes
out.
when you should say no.
Yes,
With
stretching
no
yourself.
explanation.
Yes, stretching yourself completely thin to complete tasks is sometimes not always the best thing.
Saying yes to every single
Saying
thing.
yes to everything.
Not delegating
Oh.
and leaning on your support system when you have them, and being a little bit more open to what support system is, because sometimes it may be beyond your friend circle or your family circle. It may be your church. It may be that local agency that helps with daycare or childcare. Might be the YMCA sometimes. You
Okay.
just never know, but really just being blocked into what support can also kind of plague on how one takes care of themselves or not take care of themselves.
I love that you talked about that support system, because in my mind, I'm thinking of my immediate support system, but I never would have thought of like the why or something like. Tell me a little bit more about your thought process behind that.
Well, again, because, we are social workers.
Okay.
And so a part of what we do as professions is always kind of help people not only identify what's in their immediate circle, but really think about things globally. And support isn't going to always be that person who, you can immediately pick up the phone, who may be attached to you by blood. It may be someone in the community. And so making sure that, we all have a sense of community and that it can be outside of your home.
Okay.
Because sometimes our family member, our friends, maybe they're in their own stuff. And you can't help somebody if you already have your own stuff going on. So just being really open to really reaching out to other resources and using your community as that support.
Okay, I love that. So now, do you guys in your when you're facilitating, do you tag team, or you have certain parts that you're like, this is my specialty and this is your specialty, or you kind of go back and forth?
A lot of times we pretty much tag team, we go back and forth. We've been doing it for a long time and we've been working together for a while, so we kind of know our flow. So a lot of times it's not really rehearsed. We just kind of tag in when we can.
And we're pretty much in sync. That's why when we mentioned that we were spiritual sisters first, friends then business partners third, and that's just how in sync we are. Oftentimes we do complete each other's thoughts and sentences.
Okay.
And it's just because we found that we are on the same page, what makes working together even much better. And so we can kind of rely on the fact that both are pretty competent in what we do, and when we bring it together, we're just even more awesome.
Oh, I love that. It's great having a good team, right?
Absolutely.
Excellent. So my next question is this. What's the business? So you're social workers, so there's a business aspect there. Tell me about your business.
So by profession, we are clinical social workers, but our business is that we provide consultation and professional development training for other professionals as well as other community people who work and serve when it comes to people in the community. So we do a lot around like mental health and wellness, intergenerational trauma, a lot around toxic stress, self-care. We're in schools, we're in churches. Our biggest move now is the churches, so we are actually putting together a conference that we'll be having in May 23rd, for spiritual leaders. And so we're going to be calling all spiritual leaders to come out support, because there's a big gap between the spiritual world sometimes and mental health, and we want to kind of be the buffer or the change agents to bring those two worlds together.
Wow. So we talk about that on the show all the time, mental health, and how our community is torn. A lot of times we want to pray a lot of things away, but I love the fact that you're talking about bridging that gap. It's You tell me what's been the challenge of doing that.
Again, we both are women of faith, so we both grew up in churches.
Okay.
We both are very active in our churches, so we definitely understand where the basis of a lot of the fundamental thoughts come from when it comes to pray everything away and, push the psychological piece away.
I think really it's the foundation of having a conversation now about it. I think there is somewhat of an awareness. I'm not going to say people fully there, that people are coming because they're hurting. People see the church historically as a place that people come for healing. They come because, they have something that's going on. A lot of times people rely on their faith. Faith plays a huge factor in people's lives.
Yes.
And I think now that people are I think for so many years people have functioned in pain. And I believe that now that the church is starting to see that, we can't continue to function in pain. We need something else in addition to relying on God and prayer and spirituality. But that also God, if you do believe in God or whatever you believe spiritually, something has blessed certain people to be able to kind of stand in the gap when it comes to mental health. And so being able to help and have those discussions about, we can still pray, but God is also, blessed social workers. He's also blessed psychiatrists and psychologists and therapists and all of those things to be able to kind of bring the gap together so people don't have to function in pain anymore.
And so really the basis of the conference really is, number one, to have a discussion, to educate people, because I think the basis of it is that a lot of people are not educated really on what mental health is. They don't really know really what is depression, what is anxiety. They're not just spirits that you can just, pray and cast away. Is a process. Healing is a choice, is a process. The second thing is that a lot of church leadership is not equipped. Because they don't know, they're not equipped to handle a lot of trauma that people are bringing forth and what they're dealing with. Yes, you're a pastor. Some people need more than pastoral counseling. Some people need more than their church leader or whatever to come to the door. What is happening if somebody comes and really needs a lot of support is really helping churches to understand what the resources are available in the community. There are a lot of Christian-based therapists out there. There are Christian-based psychiatrists there who understand, and it is a push now to integrate spirituality into therapy. And so bringing those things to the forefront, I think, will also help support pastors and church leadership with understanding, what people are dealing with and how they can help.
And then we also push the whole thing of self-care with the leadership, because they are people too. They are human.
They carry a lot.
And they carry a whole lot. And so what we want to do with the conference as well is make sure to say, hey, we want to support you too through this. Because truth be told, some of them deal with their own mental health concerns. But again, when you have to be that person who everyone else leans on, sometimes, again, what many of us do, we put ourselves to the side.
Compartmentalize.
And we compartmentalize, and we'll try to help others before we're even pouring back into ourselves.
Not realizing they're trying to give empty.
Wow. Now, one thing I just want to leave with, because I know you've got to have a class about to go. You said something, and I think it's profound. Functioning in pain. How do I know when I'm functioning in pain? Like, I know what I went through personally, and I actually took off time from work and didn't realize that I was hurting in some capacity until I was outside of that particular every day, because we're taught every day, you gotta grind, you gotta work, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. So how does someone know they're functioning in pain?
Well, when it starts to affect other parts of your life. Again, when a lot of us do very well with covering up, with our clothes and with our businesses and with our, all these other aspects. But when it starts to really begin to wear and tear on those things, when you're not sleeping right, you're not eating right, your relationships are starting to suffer, your businesses, you're sick, physical health, all of those things are really clear indicators that something isn't right. And especially if you're going to the doctor and they're not finding anything, but you're still feeling this heaviness, then that's when you know that, you may need to seek some help from a professional person.
And that's why we really talk about self-awareness, because a lot of times we're on the go. We don't take the time to tap into ourselves. Like, our body tells us everything, and self-awareness really is key.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful session. I might have to come sit in the back myself. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you. you.
So let everyone know how they can find you or where they can reach you. Or
you can reach us. You can go to our website, www.keysofhopeconsultants.com. You can also follow us on Instagram at Keys of Hope Consultants, as well as on Facebook as Keys of Hope Consultants.
Spell that out for me. So.
Keys, Keys of OF Consultants, CONSULTANTS.com.
Thank you so very much.
Did I spell that right?
With that, I'll put in the notes.
Okay. I know how to spell it.
And thank you again for tuning in. We'll have other interviews throughout the day, and we'll talk to you soon.